I'm here with the talented and beautiful Ashley America, and I just want to say thank you for accepting my request.
Thank you for having me. It's awesome to be here.
Now, for people who want to know what uncensored is, uncensored's my way of showing people that even with a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy and reach my goals in life. At the same time, I'm able to turn myself into a perfect example for people out there dealing with any type of disability, but you should never give up or have people label you, and you should prove to them you can still amount to something. And it's a half hour, 45 minutes conversation. You can say anything you want, curse if you want to. This is your time, and it's whatever you want to do.
Hoot, fart, are those curse words?
So starting off, what can you tell us about yourself?
What do you want to know? I really like burritos and cats, and I like to draw sometimes, and sometimes I'm a wrestler. And I'm wearing a cool Mikey Webb t-shirt.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, Mikey Webb.
Heard about
He's a
what?
wrestler too.
Oh, isn't she recovering from surgery? Oh, unless I got her. She's the sister of Ken Shamrock, right?
No.
Oh, I have her confused with somebody else.
Mikey. It's a boy.
Ah.
Mikey Webb. Do you watch Ring of Honor?
Sometimes. I just saw the first episode yesterday for the first time.
Awesome. He was in the Top Contenders tournament. Him and Donovan Dijak are cool guys. Helped me out a lot. So.
Okay, well, let's start off with... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's all good.
No, I'm going to ask you a lot of easy questions, and well, we're bringing up the wrestling one. I might as well jump in about who influenced you, and who also you were giving a shout out to your Mikey friend. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut in while you were giving out a shout out, so I apologize.
It's your podcast, man. You're allowed to cut me off whenever you want to. You know? I'm just a guest in your world.
No, as far as wrestling, who influenced you and how did he get into it?
Who influenced me? A lot of people. I got into it because some of my friends in high school had a backyard wrestling show that started out as Ultimate Drumline Wrestling, and then it turned into Ultimate Dallastown Wrestling once more than just the people in the drumline, and marching band wanted to be a part of it. It lasted for like 4 or 5 years. We shot episodes and edited them and made commercials, and I still have most of it on my external hard drive. So we lost season 1, I think. We don't know what happened to it, but yeah, that's how I got into it, and it just snowballed from there once I started watching it on TV, and then I kind of got into like a little bit of the history of it, DVDs and stuff like that. And then you want to know how I got into it, or actually doing it?
Sure.
Alright, so I went to college to be an art teacher, and I graduated in 2010, right when the economy took a giant nosedive, and I was just kind of like a little tumbleweed just rolling in the wind, and I didn't really know what I was doing or what I really wanted to do, because I was substitute teaching, and it just really was not making me happy, and not really paying the bills either. And so I was like, well, I mean, if I'm not doing what I went to school for and it's not really making me happy, what's the point in like doing something for 8 hours a day, spending most of your waking hours doing it when it's not going to make you happy, you know? So I got into doing production work, and I was never really like an athlete before, I pretty much would trip over my own feet while standing still, if that gives you an idea of how coordinated I was. But I was just kind of down and stuff, and some of my friends suggested that I try roller derby, and I was like, nah, if I'm going to do anything like that, it's going to be wrestling. So I signed up, and then that's a whole other long story, but that's the short story of the long story, shortish.
Well, you can give the long story if you want, but what companies have you worked for, and what companies do you want to work for?
I have actually only had a total of 16 matches so far, but I've worked for Vicious Outcast Wrestling, which was a lot of fun. I worked for Valkyrie Women's, which is always a good time. I don't know if you've seen anything from there at all. I've worked for brain's not working. I need a list. Destiny in Toronto, Canada, which is pretty awesome. I feel to only beat, I think it was my 16th and most recent match was in Canada, which I feel is pretty awesome considering I haven't really done that much to be able to work internationally already, and it's a cool show too. So I'm back up there at the end of this month to wrestle Leah Von Dutch, which I think will be pretty awesome. TWA Connecticut, run by Joseph Von Schmidt, who was one of my trainers for a while too. That's about it. Monster Factory, I only wrestled on the show once, but I trained there for over a year.
Yeah, I've been talking to them.
You've been talking to the Monster Factory?
Yeah, I asked for a partnership. I've been looking for people to interview. And I asked them if they would like to work together. I can come down and interview the wrestlers. And they said, yeah, sure, but I never heard back. But I know the Monster Factory and what was the other one? East Coast Pro Wrestling. There was another one that I talked to too. So.
Cool. Very cool. But, the Punisher, did you say? It kind of cut out a little bit.
No, I just know the East Coast Pro Wrestling. I was talking to, what was it? Gino Caruso.
Okay.
And for the Monster Factory, I don't know anyone recently, but I talked to, the phone people who answer the phones, and they seemed interested in talk. So, but yeah, hopefully I get the chance to work with either of them. But I do watch the show on YouTube. It's pretty interesting. I like the whole independent thing, and that brings up Ring of Honor. Have you ever gotten a chance to work for them, or want to?
I would love to work for Ring of Honor. I'm actually training with Delirious at the dojo right now, and it's awesome. I love it. So it would be a really big honor to work for Ring of Honor someday, once I'm at that level, which I am not yet.
So you're still a rookie?
Oh yes, absolutely. I've only had 16 matches, so I've been training for about 3 years, but it's being able to do drills in the ring is one thing compared to being able to work the crowd in a show.
Well, if you're interested after the show, I do have a couple questions for you, if you're okay with it.
Okay.
And now the other question, just keep it between us. I don't want to mention it on the air, but I'll be unprofessional. Just like a couple job opportunities that I came up with. I just want to run past you. That's what I meant by it. Anyway, without embarrassing myself anymore, but Have you ever gotten a chance, or have you thought about doing a video for WWE Tough Enough? Or like you said, you're just starting out, you want to take it one step at a time?
I did actually do a video like 2 days ago. I don't know. I wasn't gonna do it, but I was like, why not? I went over the time limit, but I just needed to say what I needed to say, so I didn't really worry about it. I mean, what are the odds of them even seeing it?
That's true. You're probably gonna think I'm an idiot, but or if you don't, someone is going to think that. I did one too, but I didn't say, hey, I want to be a wrestler, look at me, and do one of those. I actually used the opportunity to pitch my idea for my talk show. And I actually said, hey, I'm the host of my own talk show, showing people that was a learning disability, what I can accomplish. And I know someone out there is like, idiot, that's not what this is meant for. But hey, I saw an opportunity and I took it, but...
Awesome. I hope it works out for you.
Well, what's your opinion? Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was going to ask you, what is your learning disability?
It's funny, I usually dance around that question, but you're a beautiful woman, and I just come out and tell you. I'm pretty much like you, only I learn at a slower pace. So, I'll give you a perfect example. Like, if someone said, okay, here's a book, go read it, and then we're going to have a test on it, it would go completely over my head. But if you take the time to sit down and go over it with me, like 1 or 2 days, then, it gradually sinks in. I can't snap my fingers. It doesn't register that fast. That's why I say I learn at a slower pace.
I mean, most of the time when I read a book, it goes in one ear, not the other, so we're not that different. It took me a really long time to learn how to snap my fingers, too. I can do it.
Well, if you like to tease me one day, I'd pay you for your time.
I don't really know if there's a way to teach it. It's just like, you just kind of keep practicing it until it works.
But the downside is it also gives you the, what was it? It gives you the something with the hands later on. I forgot the name of it. There's something about if you like snap your fingers, it does something to your hand later on. But I can't think of the name.
Oh, it like hurts your hand?
No, I know. I think you get arthritis in the fingers.
If you do it a lot.
That's true. But it's you gotta do what you gotta do. But that's what I heard. It's never really proven. But what were your favorite matches starting out? Like, say Trish Stratus, Lita, Marlena Perez. Have you ever looked up to these women and wanted to have the chance to work with them? Or have you ever gotten the opportunity to actually meet them?
I've never met any of them. I didn't start watching wrestling until high school, so I always liked like Gail Kim and Mickie James and Victoria/Tara. Those were the girls that were pretty awesome when I started watching. And once I got into the history of it, I became a huge fan of Sherry Martel. So.
No, I agree with you. There's Sherry Martel and Ms. Elizabeth and Sensational Sherry. And there's a lot of women that opened the door for women today. But as far as the looks go, I prefer the women of today compared to then.
Yeah? You like the model type?
That's true. I guess you can say that. Would you consider Gail Kim or Mickie James the model type, or the Barbie doll ones?
The what?
Or the Barbie doll looking likes?
I mean, I think they're all beautiful. I think Sherry is a beautiful woman too, and I think she rocked that glittery face paint.
Well, while on the subject, do you think of yourself as a model or one of those Barbie dolls?
No. I actually had really low self-esteem most of my life, and I used to get bullied a lot when I was in school, like middle school and stuff, and I spent most of my life thinking that I was ugly until recently people kept telling me that I'm not, so I guess I'm not, but I don't know, like, I never really thought about it much. I mean, how you look isn't really anything that you control, so I just like to, like, act weird and, like, do funny stuff with my friends and stuff like that. That maybe someone would like me for my personality, but I mean, I never really, like, thought that I would be a wrestler until I was doing it, so. And even then, I didn't really, like, think that I was that particularly attractive. My first wrestling gimmick, they made me be an Amish girl, so I drew a unibrow on my face, because I thought it was funny, because Amish girls can't, you know, pluck their eyebrows. So it wasn't really until the last, like, year and a half that I kind of started trying to look more like a diva.
Well, do you think, when you mentioned he had 16 matches, and that's really good, for a rookie, out of the 16, what were your best and what were your worst?
I don't really think that any of them were that super great on my part yet. I don't know. Whenever I'm doing something, I just see everything that I could fix. So it's a little early in the game for me to start celebrating over anything that I've done so far. I mean, my best matches that I've had are definitely in training where no one can see them.
Well, do you have like a replica of a women's championship that you look at and that influences you, that keeps you motivated? Like, for example, what keeps you motivated to keep doing what you're doing? You know, some people have a belt, some people just have a poster saying, I'm going to be like the next Trish Stratus, or I'm going to be the next Melina Perez. So what keeps you moving?
Just as long as I can have fun and as long as I keep learning, you know. Stay in a positive environment. It's just about getting better and being more confident in myself and what I'm doing. New opportunities, I guess. I just try to stay in the moment and be thankful for what I have.
That's true. Now, going back to the easy questions before we jumped into the whole wrestling thing, and then in a couple minutes I'm going to pass the show over to you, and you can say anything you want. This is your time after all. When you were in college, you mentioned you weren't an athletic type, but did you do any sports? Were you study nerd, party animal?
I did marching band, and I did, like, the concert band and clarinet choir, played the clarinet, and I was pretty much in my painting studio most of the time. Didn't really, I don't know, I just kind of hung out with the other people in the art department.
You know, the one thing... Yes, it's Skype, so it's always got to be like a delay.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, the one thing I remember, I never got a chance to go to college, but one thing I remembered from high school, I was always a part of the audio-visual department. I was a big fan of that.
Oh, cool.
That's how I got interested, actually. You know, my dad used to work in school, and he used to buy these computers, like the think it was like 2002. We married a different color IMAX. You know, there was the red, there was the blue. Alright, the other thing I was gonna ask. Like I said, I don't mean to interrupt.
It's your show, Keith.
Yeah, I know, but I'm very respectful. But I was gonna ask you, when you do a triple threat matches, have you ever have you done any? You mentioned you did a tag in a one-on-ones, but have you been in a triple threat?
No, I've never been in a triple threat.
Well, it's called different. It's called different things: triple threat, freeway dance. But I lost my train of thought. But what company do you grew up watching? Or like what company that actually influenced you in saying? You mentioned you got into wrestling because it seemed like a good idea, but was it TNA? Was it WWE? Or was it WWF or WCW? But like what actually made a final decision for you saying this is what I want to do? Well, like what gave you that final push?
It wasn't really like a company in particular. I watched wrestling all the time. It was just my friends telling me that I needed to do something to get myself motivated again. And so that's what it was. But I was a big WWE fan.
Alright, well, wrapping up, do you have anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to ask me? Like I said, this is your time after all, so whatever you want to do.
I don't really have anything in particular to say. I don't know. Can I plug my social media?
Yeah, sure. It's, like I said, this is your time after all.
Alright. If you want to be friends with me on Facebook or like my Facebook page, I'm Ashley America, and my fan page is Ashley America. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, I am at Ashley Murica. That's at ASHLEYMURIKA. Because America won't fit.